Welcome to Callaway Talks. I'm your host, Dave Neville, aka Yo D Nevs, and I'm here today with the good doctor, Alan Hocknell. We're going to take a deep dive into some new products. I know you've been on a little bit of a vacation. I think it's like the first time in 4 years we gave you a little bit of a break because you've been working so hard on these irons. Did you have a good vacation?
Yes, I actually took some of them to Scotland, to the home of golf.
Oh, wow. I don't want to mention that you're a member of the RNA. So we're going to start with the Epic Forge irons. We got a lot to talk about. So we're going to talk about Epic Forge irons. We're going to talk about the new Flash Hybrid, and we're going to talk about the Star Found. Well, let's start with the Epic Forge irons. These are ones we've been working on for a long time, but when we talk about Epic and the Epic line of irons, we got to go back. We got to go back a few years, probably more than 2 years, just to your mandate with our CEO, Chip Brewer, on the original Epic iron. Talk a little bit about what that was all about.
Yeah, we wanted to build a concept car. You know, we'd built a number of irons up to that point that featured face cups, and we really believed in that technology. But we hadn't really kind of stretched it into what we could do if we made major changes to the body as well as the face cup. And the Epic irons were an opportunity to do that. We put more new stuff into an iron than maybe we would normally do. And they really stretched performance. We got some great feedback on the speed that we were achieving with the ball, the distance that obviously created, people's ability to flight the ball, whether they were of an average ability or better players. So we really liked a lot of the performance, but there were some pieces of the feedback there that we thought we could build on as well. You know, maybe the sound of those irons and the feel of them wasn't as great as some people would have hoped for, and particularly for better players, shots that they were hitting in the scoring zone near the green, there was some feedback about inconsistency that challenged us at first, but we started to figure out what exactly was going on. So there was an opportunity to improve performance there too.
So I know one of the things we wanted to do, first of all, was make these irons forged. That was one of the feedbacks that we had, because the first Epic iron, like you said, amazing performance, ultra premium. The feedback was, if you're going to have an ultra premium iron, the consumer wanted it to be forged, but that presents some huge technical challenges.
It really does. So, with an iron that's as powerful as one like this, with a high power face cup in the front, it puts a lot of load into the body as well. A lot of the force of impact is transmitted into the body. So the body needs to be strong. And, a forged 1025 carbon steel material just doesn't have the innate strength properties of, say, 17.4 stainless. So we had to figure out how to make the face cup work with a forged material in the body, and that was a lot of the investigation that went into actually our Apex irons that have been in the market successfully now for a little while, and also allowed us to build the new Epic iron this way too.
So let's take a little bit of a deep dive. Let's dig into some of the features of the new Epic Forge irons, but I got to start with just the look and the design. Yeah. I feel like this is an achievement in iron design that we've never reached. I mean, you talked about all the different finishes and the materials, even the way that it's constructed, and then the draft angle. So get a little bit into just the design before we dig under the hood.
Yeah, certainly. This is a multi-material, multi-piece iron, and lots of those materials and pieces are chosen for very specific functional reasons. But the idea is that they all have to come together in a very precise way in order to get that performance. And when you're trying to work at that level of precision, you get the opportunity to make the iron look like $1 million. We have an attention to detail that's possible using these manufacturing techniques that really just isn't possible at other price points in our range.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just looking at it on the screen here, but all the different finishes, right? So
sure.
Even talk a little bit about this PVD and kind of what we've taken that to another level, even on the sole, right?
Yeah, this the head here has really a piece on the outside here, which is a reflection of where a very large tungsten weight sits on the inside. It's colored differently using a deeper PVD process than we've used before, but even the detail work around the edge of that area is 5-axis CNC machined, so milled into the forging in order to really accentuate the detail of what is happening that's of a benefit to golfers in that particular part of the head. And even the logoing of the word Epic in there is really highly precision finished as well.
So the look's absolutely stunning, but it can't be all about beauty. And what I think the amount of innovation and technology that we have poured all into one iron. I mean, where do you even start? I guess we have to start with this suspended tungsten core. I mean, this is the first time ever in a forged iron we've been able to do that. So just talk a little bit about what benefit that gives us and the pieces of
sure.
that.
So I've got an iron in pieces here. One of the things that we're trying to do in a high-powered iron like this is move the center of gravity low down in the head. And an efficient way of doing that is to use tungsten. But if you use the maximum density, the full density version of tungsten at 17 grams per cubic centimeter, you can't weld that to anything. So you have to find a different way of making that heavy tungsten weight stay inside the head. So what we chose to do was to actually put the tungsten into the head, suspending it in there. So the tungsten uses this little yellow jacket that's injection molded around it. It sits inside the head, and then our urethane microsphere material is injected into the head in a liquid form and fills the cavity to form this kind of shape around the tungsten weight. And that sits in the body of the head here, and allows us to control the center of gravity position at the same time as allowing us to control vibration that might lead to negative sound effects. So we have a system here that allows us to get the center of gravity really low in the head. In this particular case, in this iron, it's positioned a little bit towards the toe as well. We're using the most dense version of tungsten possible, and we have it in a system there that does all that while at the same time not restricting the flexibility of the cup face, because the urethane microsphere material effectively collapses in on itself when it's deflected.
So that challenge from the last Epic iron, from the last generation, was that they were hollow body irons and they felt a little bit hollow. Sure. And now you've totally addressed that with the urethane microspheres in there.
Yeah, that's right. The face cup is more powerful even than the one in the previous Epic iron, so it creates more deflection that would lead to even worse sound. But by putting the urethane microsphere material behind the face there, we are able to attenuate all the negative vibrations without reducing the flexibility of the face at all.
And then I look at the face itself here, and it looks like we have a new version of the spin control VFT. So even learning from what we had in Apex. So you talked about the challenges of getting some of the hot spots or the flyers, and how does the spin control address that?
That's right. So we want the face to be flexible in order to generate speed. But when you do that, you have some other negative effects that you've got to manage correctly. And one of those is the reduction in spin that you might get. And that, with a relatively strong lofted iron, if you don't catch it just right, you could end up with shots that maybe don't have enough spin and they fall out of the sky. So the spin control VFT is actually there to add spin back to the shot, in particular for your off-center shots, the ones that might struggle to have the most optimal of launch conditions. So we're trying to keep the ball in the sky longer by adding spin to shots that otherwise wouldn't have enough, and that gives you distance on your miss hits.
So let's address the loft issue head on, because you mentioned that.
Sure.
But I'm looking at the specs here. I'm into the specs, Doc. Pitching wedge, 41 degrees, 7-iron, 27 degrees. Those are pretty strong.
Yep.
So I know we're going to hear it. People are going to be blowing me up on social media here. You've jacked the lofts, and the only reason why you're getting more ball speed is because you jacked the lofts, and they're going to launch too low, so on and so forth. So talk about how the technology addresses that.
Yeah, the lofts are pretty low, pretty sporty if you look at them just on paper, but you got to take into account the fact that the center of gravity is also very low, and we get a little bit of extra launch angle from the flexibility of the cup face as well. So you've got to look at all of those things combined, and we think that yes, they're on the stronger side, but these still launch and make the ball fly in a way that is accessible to a large range of golfer abilities. So people who struggle to get the ball in the air will still be able to launch the ball and create the or experience the distance benefits that you get from the flexible face cup.
I mean, incredible head, and then we've now matched it up. Our stock shaft is the Aerotech shaft, and that's the first time ever that an OEM has put the Aerotech steel fiber shaft. Just a really premium package. Even the grip, this new Tour Velvet Align that we're launch partner with Golf Pride in. So just an unbelievable package. Talk a little bit about just the results we're seeing in the fitting bays.
Yeah, we have tested this against everything we have, our own face cup irons and anything else that's on the market. And these irons generate the most ball speed that we have seen, in some cases by quite a significant margin. If we're talking about 2 and 3 miles per hour more ball speed, then that obviously translates into measurable distance advantages, whether you hit the center or whether you don't hit the center of the face.
We're seeing some incredible results from the fittings, and we'll be sharing those on social media, but people putting their before and afters, and it really is eye-popping, because you say the lofts are a little bit stronger, a couple of degrees stronger than Apex. Maybe that would be worth 3 or 4 or 5 yards, and then people are posting stuff like 21 yards longer on a 7-iron. I'm like, holy smokes. So what an incredible iron. I mean, this is really an achievement, and you got to be proud of the team and what they've come up with here.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of work that went into this. The finished iron, you can't really see much of the technology, but to know just how much is inside it, and that you can purchase with confidence knowing that all the performance is built into there, we're really proud of the outcome for sure.
That is an amazing iron. And of course, we got to have a hybrid. We've rolled out the Epic Flash driver in the fairways. First of all, they went to number 1 in the market. They went to number 1 on tour. And then the first thing people start asking me, they're blowing me up, where's the hybrid?
Yeah.
And a lot of companies roll out the hybrid with the other woods, but we tend to roll them out with the irons. So now we have this Epic Flash hybrid.
That's right.
And it's kind of like a concept car for the hybrid, right?
That's right. I have one here, actually, if I can reach it. Let me see.
So we're packing all of our best technologies into one hybrid, and I think I got to start with the shaping here, because it's a little different. It's different than Apex, even different than Rogue. So what were we going for on the shaping, and where does it fit in?
That's right. It sort of fits in between Apex and Big Bertha, really. So it's an intermediate type shape. And a lot of our hybrids have had a certain characteristic of late where they've had a really squared off toe, a little bit of an iron-like face to them. This one has more of a fairway wood type shape to it, more pear shape that people would say. So it gives a different look, a little bit different sole camber, a different look to the face, and an intermediate sort of body shape. Really focused on appealing to a wide range of golfers. There's something in this for better players in the lower lofts in particular, in terms of being able to still launch the ball but control the spin rates and hit pretty long shots. And in the higher lofts, there's something in it for nearly everybody, really. Really easy to launch kind of a product. It's very easy to launch because there's a giant injection molded tungsten weight in the sole of this.
Yeah, there's both a external tungsten mimmed weight, and then there's a huge internal weight. You can see it right here in the cutaway.
Yeah.
But talk about what are those two weights doing, and what's the benefit of those?
That's right. On the outside, you can see the smaller of the two, and that's really there for us to be able to swing weight the club for different configurations of custom builds. But underneath that, there's a much larger internal metal injection molded weight, and that's there really to position the center of gravity low in this head, much the same way that we are doing in the irons. So they have similar easy to launch characteristics. By positioning that, we can also choose the distance back from the face and how much of a contribution it makes to MOI. So we're looking at the overall forgiveness of this using really the largest tungsten weight that we've ever used in a hybrid.
You were telling me earlier the crown itself, which is kind of what helps allow you to have that MIM tungsten weight and a triaxial carbon, but super, super light.
That's right. This covers the vast majority of the crown area and weighs only 5 grams. So it's a very lightweight crown. It achieves all the strength and stiffness that we do require only in one layer of carbon fiber, which is very different from other carbon crown techniques. And it fits beautifully on the top of the head, takes weight out of the crown, and allows us to put it a lot lower in the head.
And of course, we've got our ball speed producing machines, right? So we got the face cup and the jailbreak. So remind the viewers what's jailbreak doing for the hybrid.
Yeah, jailbreak has the 2 vertical bars that are there sitting behind the face, and they stiffen the head in the vertical direction. Essentially, in the impact with the ball, they make the face work harder. They make the face deflect more than it otherwise would. And that really translates to more of the energy that is in the head being translated to the ball, and you get more ball speed.
And we have the adjustability. So you've put the lighter, the OptiFit 3 hosel, and so what's that doing for us?
Yeah, so we've got all the options that you need to configure this club specific to your bag. The lighter weight version of this hosel is about 12 grams lighter than its predecessor. So again, we're taking weight out of the upper part of the head. It allows us to put it lower down or in the perimeter.
And there's tons of options. So we got a 3 hybrid, a 4, a 5, a 6. We're going all the way up to the 27 degrees. We got righties and lefties. We've got the Mitsubishi, the Tensei AV Silver, so that's a great option. So this is going to be a really high-end offering. I love the shape, and I love where it fits in the lineup as well. So Doc, I'm looking at that gorgeous staff bag over there with those beautiful leather head covers, and that we got another family, and this is a whole family to talk about. So we talked about Epic Forge irons, we talked about the Flash Hybrid, and now the Star family. So ultra lightweight, premium performance. Who were we going for in the Star family?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that the technology that we're so proud of is accessible to the broadest range of golfers. And there's a group of golfers there who struggle with delivering the club head to the ball, either through lack of speed or lack of consistency. And making the clubs lighter for that group of golfers really improves their ability to get the club to the ball. And once the club gets to the ball, then all the other technologies can kind of take over and they get the kind of distance benefits. So we wanted a set of clubs that retain all of those key technologies but are lighter in order to help people get the club to the ball.
Yeah, so you mentioned it, but one of the things that I see, and there's a lot of lightweight options that are out there in the market, but a lot of it is just about lightweight, and that's it, right? But talk about all the technologies we have in here to start. We're not compromising there, right?
No, so Epic Flash, it's been the #1 selling driver. It's got all of the technologies that has. So the Star model now has all of that just done lighter, and it's quite a technical achievement to take all of those technologies: jailbreak, the AI face, the flash face, the sliding weight technology, all the things to do with carbon crowns and lightweight titanium bodies, all of that now just done lighter. So we've got all the same performance benefits, but with increased ability to generate head speed on the right.
Let's run through these relatively quick. We'll go through each of them. We got to start with the driver, because I was looking at the stats of the driver, and I see that it's 50 grams lighter than the Epic, the regular Epic Flash Standard, and it's 60 grams lighter than the Sub-Zero, and we're achieving that in a number of ways. But maybe start with the head and what we're doing differently there.
Yeah, certainly the head has to be lighter in order to be part of the club that's this light. So we're taking weight out of some parts of the body. We've removed actually the adjustable hosel feature, which we think isn't all that necessary for this type of golfer. The sliding weight is a little bit lighter, but not necessarily that much. It still has the ability to steer your shot shape left and right. So all of that is there. Jailbreak and the AI face are still all there, and really you get great performance just at a much lighter head weight, and we're matching that up with a much lighter shaft and lighter grip as well. So the overall,
I'm seeing this UST Atas speed shaft. It's 34 grams in the light, and it's 36 in the reg. That's like my head just exploded right there. And some of the sales reps, when we showed this to them, they were like, oh my God, they were fired up. But it's the first time we've done a sub 40 gram shaft in a driver.
That's right.
And that's a challenge just from a durability and performance standpoint,
Absolutely.
right?
You got to be using the most premium materials. You got to construct the shaft consistently in order to get the durability you're looking for. A lot of people think it would crack down in the tip end, but actually up near the grip is some of the areas that we consistently see challenges. So it's been designed to withstand all the forces of impact, and we're satisfied that it does do that, and we can now genuinely have a sub 40 gram shaft in a club.
And
like
that Golf Pride, we got the JL00, one of the lightest grips in the entire world, 30 grams there. And then the fairway as well, it's a little bit heavier shaft, but still very light and easy to swing for a fairway wood.
Yeah, that's right. Again, a lot lighter than the standard Epic configuration, but all the same distance enhancing technologies, the face cup, jailbreak, everything about that is exactly the same, just easier to swing.
And what I love about it is we added a couple models. So we had the 3, 5, and 7. Now we have the 9 wood and 11 wood, because we know this type of market, this type of golfer, some of them use quite a few fairway woods and hybrids as well.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a large range of fairways and hybrids. Last time around, the 8 hybrid we introduced, the Ocho became kind of
the Ocho is in play.
Yeah, kind of a club almost with its own kind of following. We loved that happened, and we're celebrating that by bringing that back in this range too.
So a ton of options there. And then going to the iron. The iron is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I thought it couldn't get any more beautiful than the Epic Forge iron, but now with the Star version, it's all blacked out. It's multi-material, multi-surfaces there. Once again, it's a lightweight package. The lofts are strong, but just talk about why that can still work for this type of golfer.
Yeah, it's similar to the Epic Forged, the standard iron, is that we can produce very low centers of gravity. The lofts can be a little bit stronger, but we've done a lot of testing with this type of player, and found that the configuration of lighter, the choice of length that we've made, and they're relatively consistent low on the face impact location. We could put all of that together and still have people launch the ball and take advantage of the face cup technology in order to generate elevation, which combined with speed helps overall distance.
And for the first time, we've got the women's version, and kind of also calling the HL, which we in custom you could get that as well. So a little bit easier to launch there. So I feel like this time we've really addressed all the golfers in this market.
Yeah, aside from the technology, the thought behind the configuration of what's available is way greater, with a lot more testing available to us based on really the use of the original Star model. So we've got all of that now behind us, and I think it's a really substantial offering.
So Doc, now I know why you needed that 2-week vacation. I mean, what a lineup that we are launching here. So we've got the Epic Forge Iron, the Epic Flash Hybrid, the entire Star family. They're going to be available for fitting on Friday, July 26th, and in stores on August 2nd. I want to thank Dr. Alan Hocknell for joining me. Guys, go out and get fit. Give these a shot. Thank you for joining me on Callaway Talks.